Some MItsurugi Odotic action for you. I know you're excited about that. Some Crystrons and some Speedroids. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Now, I've been actually enjoying the amount of cool decks that we've been seeing out here. And this first one actually is using MItsurugi with the already existing reptile package out here to try to generate some advantage to kind of show, hey, you know, like this deck can actually do some things and actually kind of set up some initial combo. Now, we already knew that the Odotic stuff was going to be probably the method of madness that you're going to want to play with this, just to be able to kind of go through the combo lines. And, you know, King of the Feral Imps is already going to be one of these insane cards that you're going to want to see. But also, you know, we got to give a shout out here to Snake's Reign. You know, being able to have this synergy with all of these engines is what's really going to kind of give this deck an opportunity to get things going. I also do see in here that we are playing Odotic Daybreak. Setting up those multiple tokens in here is going to be an absolute dream come true, because, you know, you're suddenly getting access to Reptilian and Chinda out here. And of course, you know, some of the other, you know, incredibly generic cards that you've actually got. It's almost kind of a little bit eerie how good Daybreak can actually be now, obviously, because you're doing the MItsurugi stuff. You know, you do see Purification actually being an insane card in here. You know, you've got all the gas that this engine gives you. But we're also only playing one Amino Murakumo and one copy of the Futsu. I swear most builds are probably going to gravitate, rotating around 1 to 2 of these. While card is incredibly good, it's just kind of nice that we have an identity for ourselves in here. I also see, oh baby, Balancer's actually down here. Well, that's kind of interesting. You have all these relatively cool lines of play down here that you can kind of access and do things with. It actually kind of turns this deck into something really cool. And of course, you know, the Planet Pollutant Virus and the Zorol down here, all being some cute little things, I guess, that you can try out. So, ideas, all right? I mean, this is going to be, you know, just where you kind of want to test things out. All right, next up here, we have some Crystron action for you. Now, the thing I'm going to warn you about Crystron here is you're going to have a lot of ideas that are going to be bouncing back and forth out here with Crystrons until you probably get week 1, week 2 builds kind of locking in ratios, and people kind of have more of an idea of which way that they want to go with this deck. The most important thing I can tell you is Mr. Clockwork Knight down here is just absolutely amazing. Like, this card basically allows you to facilitate full combo by himself as long as you've got the appropriate piece of the puzzle, and it's definitely something, to say the least. I see we are doing the one Citree in here. I mean, hey, good news. You know, while Citree was in a massive amount of money, you know, you only need one copy of this, the way it looks, to get the deck going. I also see we are doing some Terratop stuff in here, which means, you know, Cherubini's on the table. You gotta, you know, give Cherubini some credit for the unstoppable BS that he tends to give to people out here to allow decks to kind of, you know, get things going. You know, sending a free level 3 literally starts full combo. Also, shout out to Regulus in here, being a nice little extender piece. Also, that's interesting. I really wish we had the side deck present for this, so I could see some of the lines that they were attempting to go with in that. And that's kind of the thing with some of these deck profiles. You know, without the side deck, you don't really get to paint the full picture of what's going on. I mean, you can have a base idea, but sometimes, you know, there's an option or two that shows up that you're just like, huh, you know, why do we not have this? Or, you know, what's going on? And another line. That's typically a major point for consideration. So, okay, good stuff. OMG, we have some Speedroids for you. Now, to those of you that are trying to answer the question, now, you know, I've got the already existing Speedroid core. You know, what do I do about shifting things around? I also see, starting this build off here, we're not doing any Kashtira Fenrir plays in this, which that kind of bothers me a little bit, because Fenrir, or excuse me, Unicorn has always been one of the major little things that, you know, when people look at this deck, they go, hey, you know, Unicorn's the free level 7, you know, it gets the body on the field, gets things going. I understand that maybe that's going to be a little bit harder to kind of patch in now with Crystal Clear Wing over Dragon. Sure, because, you know, it's 2+ tuners plus a, you know, Crystal Clear Wing Synchro, or, you know, you have to use the 1 tuner Synchro monster. So you're going to have to use Clear Wing no matter what to step into this thing. So having access to the Unicorn, I guess, could technically mess up some of the synergy lines for this, but I still don't think losing access to that's going to be really good. It's also, you know, you're expecting your Terratop to kind of stick around and resolve. I kind of feel like once this line is kind of connected, it doesn't really tend to be all that you know, crazy. As long as you've got the extenders to keep things going, this deck can actually kind of do some things, but that's always going to be a major discussion point when you're looking at Speedroids. You know, it's going to be like, all right, what's going to be the best win monsters that we can go through? It's going to be the best lines of play to keep the synchro train rolling out here, just to kind of see where we can go. That's why you also see down here, like, you know, we're also only playing 2 rubber band shooters now. So, you know, this is the only Link monster you get access to, because anything beyond that is just not going to work. Ooh, we have some Full Metal control for you here. Now, for those of you that know, we see this deck show up every once in a while in the OCG. It's very, very strong for what it brings to the table as a rogue choice. Now, obviously, you do see more of the Red Eye stuff in here. And I was initially testing a lot of Red Eye stuff in this deck because I think the Red Eye stuff is very fun. Especially Soul being a little bit of a burn card / you know, get access to a Red Eyes to put that pressure on your opponent is kind of important, actually. You need to have access to, you know, putting these monsters on the field and keeping things going. I also see we are doing 2 of the Max Metal Morph in here, which I'm all about this, but we're going a little bit further beyond this. We're actually playing base form Metal Morph in here, which, I mean, hey, you know what? We don't talk a lot about the value that you can actually get with base Metal Morph, but this is kind of interesting in itself. Now, obviously, your new addition to this was the Metal Flame Swordsman. You know, we will be having the Red Eyes coming out here in the future, which tends to give this deck a little bit more oomph, which I think will be kind of nice. And, of course, you know, I was getting the chance to splash in some of the Zoa stuff is kind of cute, I suppose. You know, it just kind of opens up the door to some more cool little things to consider out here. Also, you know, Sphere's also going to be probably one of the best cards that you can initially kind of go into here to do your thing. And, of course, I mean, hey, you also get access to the Ptolemy M7 in here. Your extra deck is just going to be filling out, you know, options to get in bounce ability, to get in the control aspect of things, to make sure that, you know, you're just going to be able to play the game and punish your opponent. And our last list here is going to be some Ryol action. You are going to be seeing a lot more people testing out Ryol now, because literally the best physically printed card now exists in the course of the game here. The minute that this card touches down and goes legal, it's going to be crazy. But especially on the very early side of things here, even as like a I want to test 2 of this. I think that this card is incredibly ignorant for what it is. You also do get the chance to see Yield Harpy's Featherstorm in here, and just how kind of broken that this card actually can be, because, you know, guess who our Winged Beast is? You've got in-house synergy for this. You've got everything you need. I also see this build's not playing the Saberhole. They are playing the Typhone instead. I think that the Typhone is okay in and in itself. You've just got to kind of think about, you know, what is going to be the correct, you know, thing. If you're not playing this, I can understand slotting this in and getting away with it. But I do like the Zeus, and I do personally like that. But also 2 Pot of Desires is fine. Doing the 2 crossouts in combination with this is good. And of course, I think most of this extra deck down here is looking fine. You know, playing the SP with no Nibiru's, I also think is fine. It comes down to, you know, deck building preference and, you know, what's going to be the best available options for you. But there's some interesting times out here in the deck building world that you can mess around with. So I look forward to seeing this, you guys' comments down below for this showcase. So yeah, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.